I can't protect you if I can't correct you.
We've got something to share. We're really proud of our product and are excited to make it available on our website. Check it out now. We've got something to share.
You like my little AI? You like the little AI shit?
Hey, nice touch.
Yeah, straight.
Put some rollers in their head. You know what they say, we're making them caricatures now. That's a whole nother conversation. Hey, look, we gonna talk about this FBA versus the diaspora thing. I think it's very huge. I'm actually enjoying the conversations that are coming out of it. But I think we got a nice little piece to segue into it before we get going. Hey, everybody out in YouTube land, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. You already know what's up. Throw 50K in the chat. We got a 50K sub campaign going on at the channel this year. We're gonna have 50,000 subscribers to join me, Boy Jew the Charm Guy, and have uncomfortable, controversial conversations. I got Rob J 10X. He been on one. He got a Tupac energy going. He's been on one.
Man, it's a 10X energy, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey, then we also got newcomer Mr. Brett Thompson. We got Mr. Brett for us. Rob J was riding for. He was riding for you in the group chat. Hey, we wasn't being disrespectful either, by the way. We'll get into that. We'll get into what we were saying, but he was riding hard. So I see we got two liberals, two very
man, come on
right?
now with all that, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Come on, man.
They really rocking with each other.
Like
but hey,
Jay-Z said.
Have y'all heard the Clips album?
Oh man, that's wonderful, man.
I haven't, man. I'm not. I was never a Clips fan. You know, I'm too loyal to Houston, man. So I don't really delve too far outside of Houston rappers.
Really, you don't like the Clips?
Wow.
Nah, man. I didn't like the Pusha T Drake thing, man. I started calling him Psychotherapist T because he knew all what was going on in Drake's head about him trying to hide his son and marry a stripper and all that type of stuff. I'm like, that's not no rap battle stuff, man. Rap battle is I'm bigger than you, I'm better than you, I'm badder than you, I get more women than you, I got more money than you. That's rap battle stuff. You know what I'm saying? I don't know,
I'm glad we're talking about Drake because we're going to use Drake as a case study to get into identity of Black America and culture, being a culture vulture and what it means to be FBA. But I want to kick it off with the Clips album. First off, I got to say the Clips album for me is a 10 out of 10. I wanted to hate super hard on Pusha T because I am a Drake stan. Everybody knows that I'm a Drake stan. But I could not hate, dog. Clips bar for, first off, everybody's in agreement that Malice is ridiculous on the microphone.
Man, this is
I respect
we've never had this happen in hip hop.
It's just not my style.
Man, but this, and then on top of that, you know, on a spiritual level, I think it's just a reminder when you do things in divine timing and you don't rush. And then, I mean, even though he don't look it, this is a 53-year-old man who, you know what I'm saying? But what they also are proving is that, yeah, rap has a stage life, but like art in rap form is timeless. You know, that's why Jim Jones is experiencing what he's experiencing while they experiencing what they experiencing. You know.
I think.
Hey, I want to say this to Mr. Drake. What the fuck are you thinking when you say that people in UK can out rap the rest of the world? And this is one thing that I really hate about our culture being siphoned and used against us. First off, it's our shit. rap is Black American culture, and you're trying to tell me that somebody with the name like Gigs, look at the names they be having, Gigs and what other kind of names? Giddy Up. They be having some weird ass names, and you really
There's
gonna get
Skilla or
up
something.
here? What'd you say?
I think one of them named Skilla or something like
Yes,
that.
with a sculptor. Like you know, I have defended Drake from being this culture vulture. I've really tried to defend him as best I could, and I've tried to give him his attachment to foundational Black American culture because his dad is a foundational Black American. But when you go to the United Kingdom and you say that nobody out raps them when they're trying to rap and be like us. And we don't even, I don't jam that shit. It's no different than if I get into the car, I don't listen to Eminem. I don't jam United Kingdom rap. To say that, it's like, why, what's the advantage of him saying that? Like, why are you trying to make it seem like our culture can just be distributed like that? I don't like that.
I don't know. I think he might be on a repair tour. He took some bullets, man. He took some bullets from Kendrick. I mean, I think everybody knows that. And instead of just laying low and then coming back hard with some new music, he's trying to do all this. He's doing too much, I think. And then and I think he's just placating to the UK fans, you know, and is trying to maintain and keep his fan base intact after taking that huge L. I think that's really. I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense to me. That's the only thing that makes sense to me.
This is really the first time a rapper has been dissed in a way that actually like revealed his shadow. You know, so the Kendrick diss, it actually has taken a psychological toll, and then there was also a financial element that there's never really been a rap battle that had finance at stake. You know, but like Drake really did. I mean, this really did cost hundreds of millions. Like he's not like tripping when he makes his argument about the league, and that may not be the most hip hopish thing to do, but his point is valid. Man. It's $400 or $500 million on the line, and but I will say post battle, I was listening to views. I was listening to views like the day before yesterday. There, like Drake is trying now, and up until this point, it was effortless. Now he's still Drake, but there's effort involved now, and it's kind of like that part. I don't know if he'll ever get back.
So do we think that Black American culture, do we have a culture? Because the argument now that is coming up is um, really from other subgroups of Black people that we don't have a culture. That, if you're from Africa or you're from the Caribbean, those places have more of a distinct culture than Americans, Black Americans, that we really just, we have something that's just put together. They look at our culture, and I've been guilty of saying this too, that we have a bastard culture. And I would actually like to recant that, take that back, and forgive me for ever saying that. And I want to put a distinction and delineate who we really are. But do we feel like Black Americans have a culture?
Black Americans definitely have a culture. We just don't own it. We don't own the culture. We don't have a copyright on it, and we don't monetize it and capitalize it off the most. Man, it's scary how much of a. It's almost like we're like Africa when it first started. I mean, back in the day, the most mineral rich continent on the planet, and then all the other the vultures came in and just took from it and took from it and built their empires from ours because we couldn't hold on to it for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? And that's no different in music, in culture, in fashion, in style. It's I mean, rock and roll music. How many European rock and roll stars are they? John Lennon, he says that if you're gonna rename rock and roll, you probably rename it to Chuck Berry. You know what I'm saying? That's our culture. You know, rock and roll. Elvis. Come on now. This is our stuff. Everything. So why shouldn't hip hop? I mean, why should hip hop be bulletproof from that? You know, it's our culture, but
Yeah,
it's been copyrighted and hijacked by corporate America, and they let anyone have it who wants it, who wants to pay for it.
yeah. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay, cool. It was messing up. I think the want for revenue for it is why we don't own it. You gonna always have somebody that's gonna sell it out beforehand. You feel what I'm saying? It don't matter how much unity we talk and all this black shit we talk. It's always gonna be somebody that's gonna do a backdoor deal with the devil. You feel what I'm saying? And hip hop is just funny because the people who do those deals, they're the untouchables in the culture. Those the people you don't want to say nothing about the most. You feel what I'm saying? Like literally.
I don't think equitable ownership is required for culture. I mean, if we don't own no hip hop, it's still black culture. You know? So I don't. You know, I mean,
You're a little muffled, Rob. I think one thing that we have to talk about. Can you hear me?
oh yeah.
You can hear me? Okay. I think Rob, you
Yeah.
might want to check your connection because you sounded muffled too. But everybody else can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to talk about the black culture in its entirety. So when we talk about foundational black American, first off, even when you start talking about rock and roll, the creation of modern American music, it comes from jazz. You know, you got gospel music, you know, this is the music that black people created over time of oppression and struggle in the country. Now I'm not saying that we are alone in creating American culture. We have other cultures that come along with us to create the culture that we have, but we have a very strong influence on popular culture. I always say that with black Americans, we are the greatest export that we have is culture, and when it comes to American culture, we are the biggest exporters of that in American culture. I think it's bigger than just hip-hop. It's the way we eat, it's the food, it's the way we talk. I saw somebody saying that, well, you know, you got Houston and then you got New Orleans, or you have these other places in the South. These are subcultures. But at the root of those cultures, even though they may differentiate or have some variables there, it is the descendants of African slaves that come together and form a way that we talk, a way that we speak. There's a religion aspect to it that's very common. Yes, you can have somebody in New Orleans, right, who may sound different from me being in Houston, but we didn't went into the kitchen and seen our mama frying chicken. She didn't got a brown paper bag and put the flour in there and shook it up. You see what I'm saying? That's a cultural connection right there. We eat fried chicken, or we eat collard greens a certain way. We talk a certain way. That's American black culture. And I think that we have done a disservice to ourselves by saying that it's not culture, that it's just something put together, or that we like to denounce the slavery part of it, which gives us really a real connection to the country. You're gonna have to, we talked about this on our private call, you're going to have to give this some kind of identification, especially if you're going after reparations. And by the way, also, let me throw this out there. If you're just tuning in for the first time on YouTube, y'all hit that like button. Y'all hit the subscribe button. Y'all more than welcome to comment. You know what I'm saying? Y'all get in on this conversation. The conversation tonight is foundational Black American. Do you believe in it? Foundational Black Americans versus diaspora. I'm gonna lay in here and say this: we are not African. We are so far removed from that. That is a part of our heritage, but we are no longer African. We are Black Americans. We have a different culture. We have been here hundreds of years. Some may argue the indigenous part of it, I don't want to get into that because I think you have to align yourself with the institution of America, which is only about 250 years. So that's really where the discussion needs to be. But we have a culture. We have been here since the inception of the country.
And by definition, at least definition at the time of founding the country, the Americans were, indigenous or copper skinned people, that were here or brought to America. So by default, American actually was the proper name for us. Culture wise, I think is one of those things where you have a couple of things at play. Like one, now, even though it's a lot of hyperbole in Black America, at the core, the stuff that's said is true. We do have a magic to it. We do have a you put a Black person in anything where they are given uh, the ability to learn something at a level to where they're so fluent with it that they no longer have to think. They're gonna create a whole new style, in whatever it is. Now, when it comes to ownership and those type of things, it gets tricky because I was talking to somebody about this earlier. Like Black genius and white genius are, like diametrically opposed forms of learning. And I'm not one of the people who believes that all white people do it still. There are some brilliant white people that are, we don't have an exclusivity on, high level intelligence. But our intelligence is intuitive. So when we're doing something, we're just kind of going off of a feeling. I mean, I had a brother hypnotize me. I was depressed. I hated my job. This guy pulled up. He went and started making sales just on the spot. And he walked up to me and said, "Oh, we're about to eat." And I said, "Hey man, wherever you're going, I would like to follow you." Like that. That was NLP. That was NLP. That was a submodality that he did. That was like I literally had went in a trance. This guy rewired the way I felt about something. We don't know how we do it though. It's almost intuitive. Like if I was to tell you something about you that, bro, like the way you just kind of take an idea and just keep going, you probably could not explain it to me in the sense of, yeah, well, it's really just 4 steps that I take. Whereas white people, their genius is in repetition and observation of results. They'll do the same thing. Oh, when I tried this approach, when I did a 1v1, when I did it. So that's how they learn. So because we don't maybe necessarily have the need for the data, so to speak. I think we didn't value. I think we get played out of a lot of stuff because it's kind of always our nature. We kind of take our genes for granted now.
Hey, so I want to shout out to Ken, man, for tapping in too. He said we have cultural attributes, but our overall culture is American culture. So I'm guessing we have some African connection, but we overall have American culture. I'm gonna get to that Drake comment that Todd made. No, continue, brother Rob. You're a little muffled. I want to make sure you come clear when you're talking.
Okay, yeah, man. I took off the Bluetooth. Yeah.
Come on, man. Yeah, man. Come on, man. I go ahead, spill the game.
You gonna have to.
No, I was just saying. The way we don't the reason we don't maybe we have the genius, but we just don't ever seem to like harness it. That's the crazy thing about it. It's actually true that who we say we are. It's just everyone else has figured out how to benefit off of it. Like
we don't have the capital to mobilize it. That's all.
Maybe so, but even our most virtuous quality, like it's actually a virtuous and a dynamic quality that we have the ability to forgive, except we don't forgive each other. Like so, it's like we just like an oxymoronic genius culture,
Well, I think that's the part. See, like when I don't think we understand what the real systemic racism part is. I think we think shit like saying the word nigga. A lot of times I get on Facebook and I'll say things that y'all consider to be trolling, but I really want to push you to think. I don't fight for the ownership of the word nigga. I don't give a fuck about that. I don't care about white people and Mexicans saying nigga. What the fuck does that have to do with anything? You know what I care about? I care about that we haven't really found out how to solve the gentrification issue. I have an issue with us figuring out how we gonna solve the family crisis. I have an issue with what he just said. Why can't we come together as a people, right? Why can't we come together as a people and not bicker so much and actually say, hey, ADOS, FBA, y'all the same thing. We got to come together and form some kind of coalition to get what we're looking for. That's what I really have an issue with. So that's the real systemic oppression is the hatred we have towards one another and not seeing the value in one another. That's why many of us right now, even on this issue, is divided because we feel like we need to bring in these other groups of Black people just to make us stronger when they don't fuck with us either. No offense. I'm the light-skinned guy here, but I didn't see dark, un-American, black-ass niggas act like they step and fetch for the white man way more than I ever could. They want to be up under his breast so much more, way than I could ever imagine. And these are other groups that aren't Black American. See, Black Americans, we already understand what we dealing with when we dealing with somebody that's white. But these other groups that come over here and they feel as though their proximity to whiteness, they fight for that over really trying to come in and see that we've paved the way for them to be here and see how they can invest in us and bring some increase to our community. They don't do that. So we have a real distortion of each other, our value. We Black men have a distortion with each other. We don't really, Black men don't respect. We talk about the gender war, but what about the war on brotherhood?
Mm-hmm.
We talk and Rob, you talk about this a lot. What's up with our brotherhood? How do Black men come together and say we're going to take back the conversation? Where's the W.E.B. Du Bois Booker T debates? Where are the people that, to me, where are Black men making an impact outside of crying about women or trying to imitate women online all day?
Okay. Also, another thing is like the FBA and the ADOS debate and all that. I mean, we got to decide on who we are and who is us. Like you look at somebody, take somebody like Tiger Woods' son. Tiger Woods' son is probably 1/16 Black, right? Is he in our? I mean, is he part of our struggle? Is he part of our cause going forward, or is it all about mentality? Does he? I mean, is he down for the cause and pushing us forward? I mean,
Yeah.
see that I think that when you come down to labeling ourselves, man, it's it's layers to it, man, and that's the only way we're gonna get legislation. How everybody give Barack Obama a hard time, talk about he didn't do nothing for Black folks while he was a president. That's a whole nother argument that I'm not even gonna talk about right now. But here's the thing: is how do you legislate something to Black people? How do you put it down on a bill and put it on the floor of the House of Representatives for Black people? What are we? Are we African American? Are we Afro American? Are we Black? Are we ADOS? Are we FBA? What are we? And so how can we get reparations? Like you were talking about earlier, how are we gonna get reparations if we can't even identify who we are and who's with us
Yeah,
and
I don't think
identify
the
who's with us?
identify. I mean, because we just was looking at something earlier today in Washington. They didn't figure out a way to give Black people 160 grand for a down payment for a house. I mean, I think like,
That's
you
not
know,
Black. Well, that's minorities. We're gonna be forever in the minority. People of color. If you just want something just for you, we gonna have to nail it down. We're gonna have to, put feet to the fire and make a decision.
yeah, and then
I think
and that's but in this current situation we in, as far as the misnomer, that's not a white man's creation. We did this. Stokely did this. Jesse Jackson did this. Jesse Jackson had like 4 Black people, and they decided to in like 80 Rainbow Coalition. Like it's like 6 Black people that just decided we're gonna be African American now and just push. So like the identity thing, it is it is really a I mean, personally, I mean, outside of just being American, I feel like the Negro was the best, you know. But like it used to be offensive to be called black. You know, like that was, you know, there were black people that said before like 1960, I think 60 or something, yeah, that was a diss to call somebody black. So we do have an identity issue, but I don't think like that's what's gonna stop us from getting reparations. I just think, you know, motherfuckers just don't get reparations, but I don't know.
I mean, but I mean, okay, let's say bang, um, you know, Congress and the president, which would never happen, will authorizes reparations for us. Who gets it? Do
Send us the slaves, gotta be,
It
it
got. I
gotta
mean,
be.
you're right. I mean, like you know, the comedian Godfrey. You know, he's
Mhm.
Nigerian American. Does he get reparations?
No,
No, he's not a descendant of
Man,
no.
slaves. But
yeah.
Charlie
I,
Woods
I,
is, yeah, that's Earl Woods' grandson. Charlie Woods
I,
was
I,
should
Charlie,
get reparations.
but
I
Charlie
I
Woods
think
does.
I think what's funny about this is if this was 10 years ago, even when we was growing up, people of different descents that have dark skin had no problem separating themselves from black people. It was never an issue. The minute somebody says, you know what, you right, black people, American descendants of slaves, need to step to the right, and we're gonna be our own thing. Now it's we all black. That's a little crazy. I think when you were saying what Rob was saying, I think we do try to gatekeep some of the stupidest shit. We never gatekeep the right shit. We never gatekeep the right shit. We be trying to gatekeep like hairstyles and shit like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like we try to gatekeep that type of shit. You feel me? Like we
Uh,
gotta gatekeep at some point. At some point, because black, you right. And I forgot which one of y'all said it. Black men and black women, the gender war. Really, really, if you want to hear some of the worst shit said about, it used to be about black men that come from black men. If you want to see some very tenacious, vicious shit going at black women, it will come from black women. I think we gotta find some kind of respect within. You feel what I'm saying? To come with it, but the overall topic of the FBA. I mean, I just don't see how it's any pushback from anybody because nobody ever wanted to be black, bro. But black people, so it's cool to me. It's cool, but I think you have to be mindful of it because you do get these politicians and they get legislation passed for they people, right? You remember the brick lady, the lady who quote unquote got hit by the brick? You remember how she came out? I'll never forget this. This was an amazing day on social media. Somebody got hit with the brick and she started saying, these black men didn't help me. And I heard the dudes in the background talking, and I was like, bro, those aren't black men. What are you talking about? And then it hit me. I was like, yo, is this some kind of skit? Did somebody plant her to do this? She was literally she was going on podcasts talking about black men. I'm like, sis, we clearly see you're not a black person. You're not a black person. Those men out there who you say didn't help you aren't black. But I bring that up to say you got on social media and you had black women who are really black saying the black men didn't help her and the black men, and I was like, yo, how is it that y'all don't fall? How is it that y'all fall for this kind of shit? So I'm not against the separation. I think it needs to be done. I think we should. It's like I don't understand why we wouldn't. Because we gotta start there. I agree with Britt. We gotta start there. Like you gotta cut it in half. Like and shout out to dudes like Godfrey, but nah, bro, not black. Like it's cool though. Like
But
we is who we is.
Hey,
let's
imagine
also say this
how
about Godfrey though. Godfrey is doing a good job of
mhm.
also helping us by delineate. You know, he's delineating. Is am I saying that right? Okay.
Well,
He's differentiating us from everyone else, and he's giving us the praise properly for that. So as a Nigerian American, I will give him props from that. You typically don't, that doesn't happen a lot, but he's actually doing that. And he's making that distinction, and he's talking about reparations, that black people deserve reparations. Look, we have to understand they wouldn't have been here if it wasn't for us either. No, no, these POCs, these other people would not have made it here, or they would not have been able to have any type of right guaranteed through civil rights if it wasn't for us. Also, to Brett's point, a lot of a lot of amenities or rights, whatever the case may be, is under this disguise of people of color, minorities, so other groups can take advantage of it. There needs to be legislation that is distinctively aimed at Black Americans. And yes, if you are 16% Black and your daddy or your mama or your granddaddy, whatever the case, would have been considered a nigga, or he would have been down in Alabama and he got called a nigga, you probably are entitled to reparations. Because remember what they used to say back in the day: if you had one drop of black
One
blood,
drop
he
of
was
blood.
Black. So we need to get, now this is something that we're gonna have a struggle with. We need to get off of the who's more Black than the other Black. You know, if you are a Black American, you active participant in Black culture, you grew up in a Black neighborhood, or maybe you didn't. If you are a
Yeah.
Black American or have Black American descent, you are entitled to that which is Black American. Not like Barack Obama, where your daddy is African
Yeah.
and your mama is white. Now
Hey,
let me
hey,
say, go ahead.
I'm the
Go ahead.
darkest dude on here, and I got locks. Just FYI, so I'm blacker than y'all. Now I'm fucking with y'all. Go ahead. Go. Nah,
Man,
go
that's
ahead.
not
Go
tricky,
ahead.
man. I
Go.
think,
Ah,
man,
this nigga,
honestly, if we really were
this nigga
determining,
want two checks instead of
if,
I was
if
gonna get one,
it's
huh?
like if we really determining blackness, you know, like in Jewish culture, it's a matriarchy, right? So in order to be Jewish, you have to be born of a Jewish mother. Like the reason that Drake is Jewish is because his mother is Jewish. If Drake's father was Jewish and his mother was Black, then Drake would, I guess may just be like a mixed Black guy whose dad is Jewish. The father can't doesn't necessarily pass down the being of a Jew in their matriarch. I think, man, you probably have to do something like that. You probably have to be like, hey, in order to be Black, your mother has to be Black, because if like it's probably the simplest. I
Mm.
mean, we already are a matriarch. That's what Elizabeth Key's case in 17, I think 77 did. We became a matriarch. It used to be that our status came from the father. So if you were born of a free man, you would be free. When the Elizabeth Key's case came up, because her father was actually white. What they did is they switched it to all Black people's status came from the mother. That's why we're actually a matriarchy. And then she went to court. She won the case. She actually wound up marrying her lawyer. But like we're governed. We're a governed matriarchy. Like your slave status, everything, it came from your mother. So it probably would be like us and Jewish people are only two matriarchies really within a patriarchy by birthright. I'm not saying social politically, but that's probably the easiest way.
Nah, man, I ain't. I was just throwing a thumbs down to try you. That could be a good idea, and it may
Yeah.
even encourage us to, have more procreation amongst Black men and Black women, which I think we already having that. I think that's an internet thing to think that was interracial dating is just going on, whatever. I don't know if I fully subscribe to that yet, because I feel like if you're Black, you're Black. What about your daddy? Well, okay, so what about RG3? RG3 get with them white women. Is his kids not Black? You know what I'm saying? If you look at like a Lotto, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Rapper, who's one of my favorite rappers. Is
And
she not
every
Black?
and every NBA player named Jalen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but hey,
Jaden, Aiden, Caden, Ray.
but see, like, and see, but that's a misnomer too, because like, see, blacks, we naturally celebrate anything, so we think that, oh man, our genes are so strong that, man, just having that, maybe you'll be Black. Well, if
That's,
white people thought like Black people, they could say like, our genes are so pure that just implementing it with something else will make you not one of us. I mean, it's the same argument.
mm-mm.
So it's like to say that, it's almost like when people would get mad at like Tiger Woods because like, he also wanted to acknowledge his Asian side. Man, hey, you Black. No, he's actually Black and Asian. Like you can be like, that's literally what he is. So, we engage in a lot of like, purposeful ignorance in the name of Blackness. Like, because a lot seems like just complex thinking, collectively is a problem. But
So is Drake Jewish or is Drake Black?
well, by the
Both.
rules of by Jewish matriarchy, he's a Jew. But we don't really have a defining, I guess, the one drop rule in our culture. Drake would be Black, but in their culture, where it's an actual matriarch, he would be Jewish. But since the beginning of our, time here, I mean, Frederick Douglass was biracial, Booker T. Washington was biracial. So we start taking out biracial. I mean, we're gonna take out a lot of great people. Rosa Parks was
Yeah,
biracial.
Bob Marley. I mean,
So
a lot of greats. That's, I mean, we shitting on if we kind of ignore, what their actual heritage is. It's like, I
Yeah.
mean, it's crazy. I mean, you look at somebody like Lenny Kravitz. Lenny Kravitz is you know he has a black mother and a Jewish father, and I mean, but is he out front contributing to black culture? I say yes. Rock and roll is definitely black culture. You know what I'm saying? So do we have to put like Courtney say? Do we got to gatekeep? We got to gatekeep on your actions, on what you're doing, because you got plenty of dudes that's black mothers and black fathers that's doing that's that's cooning out here. That's shucking and jiving and doing crazy stuff.
But then we
And
got to go back to Dick Gregory. The late great Dick Gregory once said, "A nigga got a right to be ignorant." So
yeah,
you can't police. What I'm saying, ethnicity on. What I'm saying. You got a right to be, be a fool. Like that doesn't. What I'm saying, like that's
Okay,
almost like,
I got a question though, because the word coon gets brought up a lot. I've been
Uh
called.
oh.
yeah.
I get called a coon several. Like I'm a coon, misogynist. I'm a lot of things. Uh,
Chauvinist. Yeah.
but what is a coon? Like, what do we consider to be coonery behavior?
When I was selling drugs, I may have been considered a coon. Nigga running with the gang. To me, that's and you. I mean, y'all two know. I talk to y'all about gang shit all the time. The homies gonna call me and tap in a little while. You can consider that cooning because it really it don't do nothing but do damage to the people. So it's a lot of shit, bro. It's a lot of shit, bro. Like
uh,
it perpetuating the system
yep.
is, you know what I'm saying, could be considered cooning. You feel what I'm saying? Like it's crazy.
Yeah. It's several things, man. If you are perpetuating negative stereotypes, you're cooning. If you're perpetuating and contributing to the destruction of black people, you're cooning. If you are contributing to the continuance of white supremacy, you're cooning. That's that. Those are three examples right there of
Mhm.
cooning. If you're out there, if you're out there being unproductive, you know, setting black folks backwards, man, you cooning. I'm sorry.
I always thought a coon, just to how we used it, was like almost a black person that either would like disassimilated or was willing to throw other black people under the bus for like
Mhm.
acceptance in
Mhm.
white society. That's how I always
Right.
uh,
Yeah.
just saw it kind of used. Or no, you know what, no, that's kind of more like an Oreo. I guess a coon was always just like a dumb nigga, really, like
Well,
if I think about it.
like RG3, he back there trying to he's sitting there perpetuating black women stereotype, popping his neck and clapping his hands while his white wife right there behind him. So what he's doing is this. He's doing what our parents taught us not to do when we was like you don't say stuff about black folks in mixed company.
Hey, his
Even if
wife.
it's your wife, even if it's your wife, even if it's
Hey,
your wife. So like you don't because what he's doing is this. He's giving his wife a pass to mock his sisters or his mother whenever she has a disagreement with them.
he ain't
You know,
mocking his sister or his mother. He mocking Angel Reese. That ain't his
yeah.
sister or mother. What
Hey,
I've been
Yeah.
Black Courted.
Have you ever seen Angel Reese pop her neck and clap and while she talking?
Yeah,
No, you
I
I,
haven't.
have.
I,
No,
I
you have
think
not.
I
Reese,
think
No, you
he
have
did this
not.
to Caitlyn when she won the ring.
That's
Angel
not
Reese did.
clapping. That's
I
she,
think
she was
I'm gonna be
Angel
honest
Reese was
with you.
mocking Caitlin Clark. Did it first.
Yeah, I mean, ain't nothing wrong. I don't see
Kayla
Angel Reese
Clark.
as a bad
Hey,
person, but I'm not gonna
yeah,
sit here and lie about it like she's like
yeah.
isn't capable of that. She an
No,
athlete. She talks shit. I mean, hey, I
I
like
mean,
Angel Reese, but I
no,
mean,
no,
hey,
no.
but she's not above. She's not above like being able to. And see, that's that other thing. That's like that black worship thing where it's like we're not even allowed to say nothing negative about how dare you say it like that, bro. Angel Reese has some great. Hey, Angel Reese has some great qualities about. I think Angel Reese is one of the spearheaders of the WNBA becoming something feminine and not a bunch of women that look like men out there and not a butch lesbian league no more. Like I think she's a part of that. What's my
Right.
girl who dates Bam Adebayo? These
Yeah.
are
Asia
beautiful,
Wilson. Asia
yeah,
Wilson.
Asia.
beautiful women who have who have shown us the game played from a woman's perspective, not women that's trying to, no disrespect to, sister that came before, but so they have brought something to it. Angel Reese is ambitious. Angel Reese, is pretty, all that, and Angel Reese can be obnoxious. So it's like
hmm
why is it so hard to have like
It's okay to
Yeah.
be it's okay
layered
to be
people?
critical. It's okay to be critical of Angel Reese, but being critical, saying that she needs to get a better field goal percentage. She needs to work on her jump shot. She needs to do
hmm
that. Yes, that's fine. But 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 trying to mock her, like, come on, man. I mean, that's
Hey, I've never heard anybody call Stephen A. a coon for allowing Skip Bayless or Shannon Sharp a coon for allowing Skip Bayless to verbally destroy LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, or Kevin Durant. Why, when it came to the women, all of a sudden you got to walk this fine line about watching what you say? I think I'm gonna be honest with you, Brett. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is that liberal shit that we be talking about. This is that liberal shit we be talking about when we discuss politics, because they allow politics to slide in. When the WNBA was finally finna get that big splash, they allow identity politics to slide in, and it is completely fucked up they little that they money rush because you can't say something. RG3 said Angel Reese hate Caitlin Clark. You could have swore he said Angel Reese is a ghetto thought. He didn't say that. If I told you
she
Michael
portrayed
Jordan
it
hated,
though.
if I told you Michael Jordan hated the Pistons, it wouldn't be no pushback on that. It is what it is. But the simple fact that he criticized her, he didn't even criticize her. He just said it. Then it became free game for black people to attack him to attack him. I think that's an issue, bro. I think we can't live in a world. We can't continue to try to push this. If we talking about a black woman, it gotta be some kind of affirming or great praise. That's not the real world, dog.
Okay.
And
Hey, and
I, I, I,
Angel Reese wasn't even bothered by it. That's the
I,
craziest part.
I'm with you for all right. And Courtney, let me say
uh-huh.
you defend LeBron like like
Yeah,
like like, and people come after LeBron, beyond basketball or whatever,
yeah,
and
yeah,
they say,
yeah,
but do they mock LeBron perpetuating a black stereotype? Do they?
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? No, they
I hear
don't do
you.
that.
I hear
No,
you. I hear
yeah,
you.
they don't do that. If RG3 just said, man, Caitlin Clark, I mean, Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark, and that's it. But but when he had to put on that show, that's basically a damn minstrel show. You know what I'm
Hold
saying?
on.
I mean,
So he was mocking her, and that's what she was doing, because that's what she does.
no, she doesn't. Oh, have you ever seen her, Angel Reese say,
Yeah.
girl, come on, do this.
I
Don't
think
stop.
I think
That's what he was talking about. I
I,
mean,
I think I think y'all help. I ain't gonna say y'all, but I'll just say the media and the people that kind of push that. I think they pushed that girl into a certain position, and she tried to play that role, but that role is nothing nice, bro. Go ask not only LeBron James, go ask like a Russell Westbrook about that role, bro.
right,
That
right.
role is just nothing nice, and,
The
and
the villain role. She said she'll be the villain. She'll be a Draymond Green.
she
I
can't.
mean, and and,
She
and,
can't.
and that's cool. And that's cool. If they want to say that she's out there playing dirty or she's too rough, that's fine. That's fine. All right. But don't try to put her and make her like she's Shanae out there. You see what I'm saying?
Nah, I'm gonna be honest with you, dog. I'm gonna be honest with you. No matter what she does, she's going to get a level of support, right? That's cool.
Mhm.
That's great. You know what I'm saying? But when you're in the spotlight, you're going to get your fair share of criticism, right? And it come down to the point where even in the group that you run, the sports group that you run, the
Mhm.
minute she plays sucky and somebody mentions it, it's all hell break loose. You hate black women if you say she played bad. If she played bad tonight and somebody posts it tomorrow, I guarantee you it's gonna be somebody in the comments talking about how much you hate black women because you clown her for how bad she played the night
You're
before.
right, but
And,
it
and,
but
and
it'll
I
be
think
it'll
I
be
actually think that that's a hateful. I think the coddling of black women that's going on today I consider that a hateful act towards black women.
But it'll be 50.
That has harmed more black women. This coddling has harmed more black women than any man calling her angry, this, that, and the other, because the coddling has put them in a position where they're not prepared for like real life. They're not living an actual existence, like with real, genuine human beings who have opinions that may be contrary to theirs, who may not see things in the way that they see, and who aren't going to acquiesce to them just because they're a black woman. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, if I'm a paid journalist, I mean, I guess RC not a journalist, but he's sports, you know, uh, whatever sports, you know, subject matter, whatever expert. Hey, I'm not gonna color like caution my words. It's like imagine if Donald Trump invited us to the White House for some type of meal, and then the menu came out, and then I ordered fried chicken and watermelon, and a journalist is writing about it. Is he supposed to not say that Rob ordered fried chicken and watermelon? Because like I mean, bro, I fucking ordered it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm supposed to, if I see an athlete and she's mad, I can't say she's mad because she's black.
I hear you. I hear your point there, but white folks, they coddle Caitlin Clark, don't they?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? You don't think they come to her?
I think more.
Okay, so we got to look at a couple things.
They come to her rescue?
Well, I got a couple things. This is what I believe. Anytime you have any white athlete in what is, let's just be honest, black dominated sports, they're gonna get behind that person. Just like Larry Bird, they're gonna get behind him. They're gonna get behind Tom Brady. They're gonna get behind anybody that is representation of them in what is considered to be black dominated sports. And so if they have, look, Caitlin Clark is balling, so they're gonna get behind her. As far as coddling her, I don't think white people coddle Caitlin Clark the way black people collectively coddle our black women.
White people support.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you there.
I think they overwhelmingly support Caitlin Clark, but I don't think they protect her like she's a 6-year-old the way black people do with Amy Reese. And the reality is Caitlin Clark is the only profitable asset in the WNBA.
That's not true at all.
If you could go look at,
she might be the most profitable.
The WNBA loses about $40 million a year,
and they still losing.
I'm saying the attendance at games that Caitlin Clark plays in these are the only games that are at a level to where there's actually a profit made. There's no way that if a black woman had come into a league, brought this amount of eyeballs, attention, you know, this abundance of deals, and it wasn't on the All-Star team, what we would be going ape shit if you know, this was a black woman and some of the things that, you know, if Caitlin Clark was black, if she wasn't starting on there, it wasn't an MVP candidate, we'd be going crazy.
All right, like, let me say something. If let me tell you something. Caitlin Clark, I mean, she's good for the league, but I mean, let's not act like she's just reinventing the league and everything. I mean, she's good. I mean, the ticket gates is good for owners, but the real money is TV deals. Until they get a new TV deal, that's when you're going to see them make money, and they're not going to make money until they get a few more stars besides Caitlin too.
Okay, let me hop in. Let me hop in and say a few things real quick because I've let this go on. Okay, let's back it up just a little bit. I do want to say this. As a black man, you have to be mindful when you're talking about our women in front of white women, regardless of however you may feel, and she's an adult and she should be able to take it, blah, 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 blah. We need to understand the identity crisis we've had as men and women when it comes to colorism. So I think if he had a little mindfulness, he can say those things, but I think saying it in front of publicly his wife, that is, the optics isn't there. Now, is he going to go talk to his white wife behind closed doors about how he don't like a bunch of bullshit that niggas do? Of course, that is his wife. We're all gonna gossip with our wives. When I was married, that's what we did. Married folks gossip more than anybody. That's the thing. So I would just say, optic wise, I'm not a fan of that, and that's where he has to own up to taking some criticism. But on the flip, I must say, I think when we talk about all demographics, black women seem to be a group that do not want to be critiqued at all. Anything that you say about them that could be a critique or that's negative is somehow fake and fabricated. You know, all of a sudden, black women don't wear hair weaves. I guess black women don't be popping their neck and doing shit. It's like they have this fantasy about who they are, and when somebody comes out and says it, then they just kind of take it, they're just overly offended. So I do agree, I'm balanced in this. I know that when I'm talking about this commentary as far as black women go, that's not going to be the easiest to swallow. But I will say, black women do expect a certain level of being coddled in this conversation when you're critiquing them. Whereas on the flip, I don't know if y'all seeing this because I said I was going to bring this up tonight. You have this thing going on about the soft girl era where they only get their soft girl positions through white men. You have a lot of black women coming out now saying that they don't want to be with any black man because black men are just all these negative stereotypes, and we're supposed to just take that. We've always had some negative stereotypes over our head, but now they're taking it a step further by saying, hey, they only get their soft girl shit through white men. So I would just say this: we're all gonna take critique. When you're in the spotlight, when you're considered to be number one, whatever the case may be, of value, you're going to take criticism. Black women are going to take criticism. It's just something, and it's not everything's racist. Not everything is racist. That's the one thing that I hate the most of is, oh, they're racist. He's a racist. They're racist now. Not everybody is fucking racist when they're saying something about you. That's my personal opinion.
I don't know. I think that soft girl thing and black women that talk down on black men, that's the lowest common denominator of black women. You know what I'm saying? That's the minority. That's just like the black men that's in the streets just doing nothing but killing each other. That's not the majority of the black men that make up this country. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. It's easy to put a spotlight on the lowest part of what we of society and say this is what they do. This is what they do. This is what they do. I mean, you're right. I mean, I think when black women say they need to be protected, it's because they probably taken more bullets than us. They taking more bullets than anyone. You know what I'm saying? Overall, and it's not fair, but it is what it is. It's what's real.
When you say and by the way, this is my disclaimer. I gotta say this for the audience. I am not a person who hates black women. I'm not. I love black women. I think black women are deserving of praise when praise is due. But I also believe that black men need to be lifted up as well. And there needs to be, we need to be highlighted. And when we have issues, we need to be highlighted when we need to be better and whenever we need to critique, whatever the case may be. But what do you mean by black women have taken more bullets? Do you really believe that black women are more persecuted in the community than black men?
Absolutely, absolutely. It shows up everywhere. It shows up especially in the workplace. Black women, they come to the table, they bring to the table more education, experience, and but they take home the least amount of money. Real talk. I mean, am I wrong about that? I mean,
Education and now experience, those two different things now.
but they bring both. They bring both. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, in the workplace, look at look at the data. It doesn't lie.
Now the McKinsey report on women in the corporate America just came out. And basically, the majority of what they were saying was like, the majority, okay, thank you. Most women's progress has been like white women. So it's
you're right about that. You're right. You're right. And black women, they're not tracking on the same level.
Hold on, wait.
You
said the McKinsey report. You said the McKinsey report said what? Because I didn't get all of that.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, what it is, it's McKinsey. They it's like the standard in like trends in corporate America, and they were saying that basically, white women have basically just filled in and taken all the dominant roles that white men evacuated or have lost. Like the ground that white men have lost has been just gained by white women. The majority of the progress of when you hear women's growing and earnings, all that, the majority of that is white women. It's almost a silent white before women when you hear about a lot of progress and things like that.
And same with affirmative action and DEI.
Yeah,
They're the biggest recipients of it is white women. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, black men have taken bullets too. Don't get me wrong. We've taken bullets. I mean, how about in healthcare? You know, black women are the ones that's dying in the labor room. You know what I'm saying? It's not white women. It's not. They're the ones that are being mistreated in emergency rooms. Are the black women? They're taking the most bullets.
Here's the issue that I have. Okay, so let's talk. I'm a military guy. I'm an ex-military guy, so I want to talk a little bit about strategy in reality and not pop culture or pop psychology. Okay, when you remove men, when you take a man from a community, you do not have any protection, and you can essentially destroy that community. Black people place this value on our women in such a way that it is more valuable than the men. And if you do that, you can destroy an entire community, as it has already happened. We understand that healthcare is an issue for women. But if we're not talking about putting our men to work, if we're not talking about putting our men in positions of let's preach higher education to our men, you will not have a community. That's why you're not seeing the community grow. Yes, they are having more education. The 92%, they call themselves the most educated, but the numbers are not on our side when we talk about finance. The numbers is not on our side when we talk about the conventional family. They're still women. Just because you're a black woman, it doesn't make you a different type of woman. You're still a woman who needs your man. You need community. Black women were aborting. This is a fact because we had this conversation already. Black women were aborting way more babies. How the hell we still 13% from 1920 to now? We still 13%. That's because we've been aborting babies. So we tout these, accolades.
Well, okay, so how did the white how did the white percentage go down?
They not fucking. They getting abortions too. Listen. They're having abortions, but when you talk about trans, LGBT, middle class, white participant type of shit that they get into, that's the truth. They'll have just one kid, two kids. They have a different ideology when it comes to family building. Black people, poor people fucking have a whole bunch of kids. We don't have money to go cut our dicks off and transform our genders and get into these other types of relationships. We don't have that. And by the way, their birth rate is down, but percentile wise, there's still a bunch of fucking white people. When you look at middle America, all over across the nation, they outnumber us. So just because it's down, it's not the same as a 13% that is stagnant. We, in a matriarchal mentality, it is empower the woman and not the man. And that's killing us right now, because liberal ideology is all about black women, gays, and white women empowerment. Because that's what you're talking about. And by the way, let's get to it. That's what Rob was defending you on in the group, because we were saying, hey, we loved you. Like, as far as you brought a very balanced talk, but you still had that liberal part, which we want that on this show, because I think we can lean. Me and Courtney seem to go a lot more conservative. Rob's a liberal, but he's got his moments. I think he's more moderately liberal, whatever the case may be. But I just think the super liberal idea is, let's take care of these groups, and as if men don't matter, or is that we don't need to empower the man, like, or we just trying. Black men just aren't performing. Black men just aren't doing well. Like, that's what it comes off as.
No. Okay, all right. Black women, I think all they're doing has been filling in the black community. They haven't been elevated. They haven't been thrusted or empowered or
a total random point that my boy brought up this week, though, that I never thought about. You notice, like, if you watching even, like, let's just say like adult content, and it's like lesbians, right? You only see the black women actually use a fake penis. You'll never see white women doing that. Like,
oh man, I don't watch enough lesbian porn to know to really talk about that. But like what I was saying is this: is that black women have stepped in where the black man has been missing. Why? Where has the black man been missing? Well, we know it's the war on drugs. We know it's mass incarceration. We know it's been drugs pumped into our community that took the black man out of the homes. That's what took the black man out of the home. You know, it wasn't welfare. You know, welfare was a very small part, only a very small part. There's a video I love y'all to see by Phil Vischer about being black in America, a white dude that breaks down all the statistics on what welfare, what and why black folks are in the situation we are in today. And it's not because we're empowering black women to do things. Yes, we want to support our women. We support them, and black women, they could do great things, but they're not trying to replace us. They're not replacing us at all.
Well, social
You, you
programs
know.
did empower it. Let's put this, but let's think about this. Let's kind of put this in context. White supremacy social programs you do empower single mothers when you say that they can get when the white man become daddy. So when they get to stay in public housing, they get all that benefit for them and their children, and no man to be there. That's a level of empowerment, because now the incentive is have children, be in public housing, and don't have a husband. Okay, when you look at the political movements in this country, especially the liberal and democratic ones, it has never been about putting black men to work. They've talked about some legislation when it comes to like the say no to drugs shit. That was just a saying, just say no to drugs. But as far as legislation, there was no real legislation when you look at that. Okay, even when you look at type programs, different types of, not to mention, you know what else we have to face as black men? Because I was just dealing with this today when I was talking to somebody from the ISUPK. You got that shit. You got all this Pan-African dumb nigga prison shit that be going on. Where, we confused by that shit. Well, don't go to the military. That's for the white man. Like the black people, especially black men, are mentally combating all sorts of issues, and there is nothing to help us level up. There are barely any real programs to say, this is what you get as a man if you go to work, or this is what you will be able to have as a man to be able to take care of your family. It's just not there. And so where's the program for that? Everything has been about, we have lumped the minority group into this expanded group that doesn't make sense to me. Instead of it just being black people, it's not just black people, it's women, mainly white women, even though they use black women to amplify the movement. It's gays and it's everybody else.
Right.
So when you just look at, again, black men, I do think that black women, even if you look at, I think Rob has some unique history about this too, as far as the choice to actually incentivize black women going to school and black women going to college. We also, I don't think we've properly surveyed every situation. How many of these black women were paid from the silent generation of World War II veterans for them to be able to go to college? How many of these women may have went through college by being married? We have to come up with an apparatus in our black community to really take a look at what's going on from a scholastic view. And we
really take a real surface level research point and like completely look past, I mean, there was a huge question after slavery ended, like, what do we do with the black man and what do we do with the black woman? I mean, they had a whole conference behind this. It's called the Mohawk Conference, and I mean, where they actually like set a course for that was drastically different for a man and for a woman. And that's the part that's so disingenuous to me, is the fact that like that's just ignored, and it's like, we just put in more effort, or we just wanted it more. And it's like, no, I mean, not to say that, hey, the effort hasn't been made, but it's a little bit more at play. And then we have such a weaponized usage of data that, so like, if you see any statistic that paints black men in a bad light, it's pretty much accepted as peer-reviewed fact, right? Without context, without further exploration, the whole nine. If there's any statistic that paints black men in a positive light, well, then it's like, well, hey, who referenced that? So like, there's that type of search. If there's any data that comes out that paints black women in a negative light, for example, more babies die in the care of black women than any other person on in America. We couldn't say that, right? We couldn't. I mean, that's a fact, right? So a baby is more likely to die with a black woman than with anyone else. But see,
You mean as the sole parent, right?
in care of, and like in caring for, like in the presence of, a black woman, that's what just the data shows. But see, if we said that, the first thing you did, right, let's try to establish context.
Right.
We don't do that with black men. We just take a step, we just run with it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and it's a very disingenuous thing. Like even the associations, right? When it's I always say this, man. Hey, you don't know a black woman that could do a triple axle thing that whatever Simone Biles do. Simone Biles gets that gold. That's a representation of black women. But when Myron becomes a neurosurgeon in Oxford after leaving Florida State, why they don't represent me? Why Tory represent me when he's shooting somebody, but Chadwick don't represent me when he's being excellent?
I mean,
See, like
all right, whose fault? I mean, who does that? Who's
you,
responsible for that?
I mean, he was responsible for that. Is before there was a weaponized algorithm, there was just media. But the thing about it, I don't think the women of the previous generation would have let. I don't think that play could have been ran on women of the 70s, 60s, 50s, where you're gonna just praise them and ignore men like they don't exist. And the thing about it is essentially, the dominant society got black women on board with just clout. They didn't even give them anything. They just gave them clout. Like, hey, you're fastest growing. It's like so. I think if we were united, black women could end this tomorrow because they could just simply say like, hey, we refuse to accept that y'all are just going to write about us successfully while ignoring the progress made by our men. This is the most progressive generation of black fathers since we've been in the country. This is like so, but that's ignored. It's not even acknowledged. We're trained to think that the black woman is, out here making all of these sacrifices, and the black man is just up to his regular bullshit. Now, I got a first cousin who grew up with our grandma. He was in Holly Grove, right? He told me straight up. He said, "You know what, Robert? I respect a woman before I respect a man." I said, "What you mean, man?" He said, "Shit, growing up, you was with your mom. I was with grandma. I'm in the hood. All I'm seeing is niggas on dope. All I see is grandma. I see the women putting in the work. Well, at least he's self-aware to understand the conditioning as to why he sees it the way he sees it. He doesn't actually believe that a woman is better than he knows that I grew up and I was conditioned. We don't even admit that shit. We just act like it's you know what I'm saying, empirical fact. And I think that's the dangerous part. It's
All
like
right,
we
What
don't even
all right.
we don't
where
even
that came
acknowledge.
from?
Let me ask y'all something. On your timelines, that's going down on social media, on the different platforms. Do y'all follow mostly black women?
Mm,
Are they the part of your algorithm?
of course, they're part of it.
Yeah, I would say I follow black men. And I would say I follow black people. There are a lot of black women on my timeline.
Right. I think black women are more active on social media. They're the ones that's pushing the algorithm. They're the ones. So if you see, them talking about a black woman scientist, it's gonna show up on your timeline. And I mean, and a black man, we're not pushing. As much. It's not because we don't celebrate us or anything like that. We're just not
But
on,
that's not.
on
I
social
don't.
media as much.
I don't agree with that. I think black men and black women in today's society are equally pushing out material. I think the type of things we respond to may be a little different. I think we all have a propensity to respond to more feminine rhetoric and critique. That's just how it is. I want us to get out of this thing where we think that social media is this fabricated world that isn't influenced by us and that isn't somehow a mirror of how our real society is. Because I believe that it does represent how things really are to some degree. So I believe that, yes, depending on how the algorithms are, depending on what you like to ingest, you may see one type of product. I like to get everything. So I'm seeing all sorts of things. I'm seeing trap shit, ghetto shit. I'm seeing intelligent stuff. I'm also seeing a lot of conservative shit because I'm into that too. I'm seeing liberal things. I think your algorithms will placate to what you truly like and what you're into. If you're someone that you want to have an echo chamber, like Amanda Seals, who wants to have an echo chamber, because Amanda Seals blocked me. Hey Amanda, like
It is.
if you want to have this
She a
echo
clown.
chamber like Amanda Seals, then you will only see a certain type of you only see a certain type of information. I'm gonna say this. We need to really look at what our real situation is and get a real comprehensive understanding of where we're going in the future. Otherwise, if we stay in this cycle of just like what Rob says, this surface level, like scholastic view, it's not really peer review. We just say some shit and we go with it. I think we're going to be I think we're in the danger zone already, but I think you can see us go, I don't know, just in this permanent state of being what we think we already are, which is this subjugated group.
Yeah.
I think that happens for real because go ahead.
I think we cooked, and I think we're cooked simply because it's 2025. 10 years ago, you would have never heard anybody trying to oversell black women's issues over black men issues. That was never a conversation. What do you think that conversation came from, Drew? If you had one guess, what do you think? Who do you think pushed that forward? Who do you think pushed that forward?
I don't know, man. I can have so many different answers, but what do you
That
think?
is a political angle when Brett said black women take more bullets than black, that 10 years ago you would have never heard anybody in their right mind try to tell you that somehow this life is harder for black women than it is black men. It's virtually impossible. There's not a single statistic on earth that will back that up. And I don't want to come down on you, Brett, because I know where this comes from. This is why when we talk politics, I'm so passionate about how I flipped, because you don't know who's more educated in the Mexican community. You don't know. You don't know who got more degrees in the Jewish community. You don't know who got more degrees in the Asian community. None of that shit. Nothing that they promote black women for is meant to uplift black women. It's meant to cause a great divide amongst, and like Rob says, give clout to. It's never a positive thing, bro.
Okay, all right. If that's what you say, then how come there isn't more representation in politics on the state level, local levels, and national levels
Of black
for
men?
black women? How
You,
come they're not more black congresswomen than there are black men?
you said there's more?
Yes. No, there's not.
Do you
No,
know
there's
why?
not.
Do you know
Why?
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 You know why?
Why?
They don't. Hey, I wouldn't be a great Democratic candidate. They don't want them. What the white money don't want me. They want something that represents the agenda.
You mean like black women, right?
Black women, gays, and white women.
Well, why don't?
Yeah.
How come there aren't more black women in Congress?
Who is more?
But you said Democratic, right?
Democratic or Republican?
Well,
How come
nah,
that,
you can't.
if black women are being thrusted upon this pedestal that y'all are telling me about, how come they not getting elected?
Well, who are the prominent black Democratic politicians?
Who are the prominent? Hakeem Jeffries.
No. I mean, name them all.
Hakeem Jeffries, Jasmine Crockett. She gets the most clips on social media, but I mean, and she's
AOC.
and
I mean, I know she's not black, but
yeah,
AOC,
she's not black.
Maxine Waters. You've heard
Maxine
about
Waters.
What I'm saying is, you hear more about the prominency in black Democratic politicians are going to be more women than men, because you said Hakeem Jeffries. Okay, what other men do you, when you think about the Democratic Party, do you say, okay, those men are leaders of the Democratic Party?
All right, I don't say. I mean, there's not a lot of black men. Period. There's not a lot of blacks. Period. Not just men. It's not blacks,
But we
men, or women.
but we have to talk specifically about black people. And when we talk specifically about black people,
Mm-hmm.
I think that black women are going to be more prevalent in the Democratic Party than black men.
No,
As in
it isn't.
powers.
It isn't. The numbers don't say that. It back you up. You know.
Always gonna be. It's always gonna be. It's not hard to see the push and the angle of the Democratic Party when they got you on here trying to really push off and telling you that black women are having it harder than black men. The fact that you felt confident to say that, it just kind of goes to show how much power that the liberal and the Democrats have amongst black people. You would have never said that. You
All
would
right.
have never even the fact that they've created a victim Olympics in our community, to me, that's far more telling than anything we could ever discuss, right? So when we had these conversations about the black community, the issue that I have mainly, because me and you go back and forth about this all the time, you feel me? And I want to give you a shout out, Brett, for being a respectful cat about it. Because as much as me and you go back, you are respectful compared to a lot of other dudes. But that's another conversation, right? But when we talk about this, it's always in a sense of divisive. I think I seen it. I think one of the last issues I seen is when somebody broke it down and showed me how the Democratic board had Jewish people, Mexican people, Asian people, and it had black women and black men. And the dude said, "You don't see that?" And I was like, "Yeah, I see it, but what am I looking at?" He was like, "They don't separate none of those other groups but black people. They don't do that." So, and when we had these conversations, this is not to come down on black women. I'm a no disclaimer giver, right? Drew's like, I want to make sure I don't put out disclaimers like that because I got a great relationship with my woman, my mama, my sister, and everybody depend on me, and my homegirl, whoever. You feel me? I don't give disclaimers though, so that's just me. But I think once I seen that for what it was, I then realized, oh shit, they kind of creating a divide. And I can tell you exactly when it happened. It was right after George Floyd happened. It was slowly approaching, but right after the George Floyd thing, that's when they really took they real. So when we start to talk about the like the school wise, I'm like, man, women, like, because as a man, you don't learn the same way as your woman learn, right? You don't learn the same way. Little black boys don't learn the same way as little black girls. You feel what I'm saying? Like it's never catered to. As a black man, they literally build prisons based off how you do in the fourth grade standardized testing. Nobody's up against that, bro. I don't even want to create. I don't even want to add to the victim Olympics. Nobody is up against being in the fourth grade and based off how good they're doing on standardized testing, they're going to build another prison in the fucking desert in California. Nobody. That's like us. So when they start pushing that, that's when I was like, damn, they really got us. They really got us. I don't want to be a part of this. So, and I'm a little off topic, but so when me and you going back and forth, or me and Mike Charleston going back and forth, or me and anybody else, this is why I'm so passionate against those people, dog, because I see the created problem, and I don't honestly think we're ever going to come back from it. I don't.
All right. All right. I feel you on there. But like, what I'm saying is this: when I say black women take more bullets, like black doctors, they don't make black when it comes to black doctors, black men doctors make more money than black women doctors. You know, same degrees, same experience, same private sector hospitals they work for, but they could just get paid less.
I
Bottom
think that's
line.
bullshit too, by the way. I don't believe.
Huh?
Listen, I believe the pay scale argument is full of shit because it's like how. So where are they? Listen, where are they accessing this information from, and how do they know this? Because you're really not supposed to even share who's getting what. Now there may be labor statistics. I know
Labor statistics,
you can
IRS,
you
tax
can pull labor
statistics.
and all of that, but it's like, damn. I don't know, man. It's something that I've always been skeptical of, and I would love
Yeah.
to dive into it more. But I
Yeah.
just noticed that it's just, hey,
Hey.
Like, so you mean to tell me a black woman surgeon, educated, got the degrees. I do agree. I think that she should get paid the same as a black man surgeon who's doing the same job. If they're not, I think that's just an issue. That is an issue in its entirety for sure. But is that really happening to the degree in which it's being said? And I'm also say this too. This is gonna sound fucked up compared to what I just said. I don't think we need to have a world where women are out earning men.
I'm not saying, and you know what? And that's where feminists has gotten fucked up, because it's not. It's never women trying to vault us or go over. They're just trying to get equal. You know what I'm saying?
No, them hoes trying to run shit. Hey,
feminism. That's the definition of it. If you go to Webster, look at feminism. It's equality.
It's trying to run shit, just like Princella the Queen Maker. Her.
I wish we was on the private one. I could talk a little about her because I met her a few years back.
Talk about it. My channel, listen, they know what's up.
All right, but I met her on a dating app, like right before the pandemic, right after she got.
Wait, hold on, time out, bro.
Hey, that's real. Hey, I met on a dating app, real talk.
And did she link up with you?
I got the yeah. We talked back and forth we on there, and we talked on the phone. And,
so she was liking dick at one time.
Yeah, she was mad. She has a son.
Do you see how insane that is?
See, this is my thing with her. I think that this whole queen maker thing is an act. That's all that is. It's an act that how men destroy women. They're here to suck on women, and that's an act. So
wait a minute, dog. You met her a few years ago on a dating app. She talked to you. You actually got to talk to her on the phone.
I talked to her on the phone.
Looking to get with a man, and now she on this bullshit.
This was before, man. I'm telling you, this queen maker stuff happened in like 5 years.
So what was she like? What was she like as just when you was just trying to hook up with her?
She was driving trucks. You know, she was a little like one because and that was the beginning of those women driving trucks. You know, the trend that's going on. You know, she was in there doing her thing, and and she was cool, and we talked about things. She told me she never wanted to be married again. You know, that's what kind of turned me off, of course. But I talked to her. We cool. We conversed back and forth. We probably had like 2 or 3 conversations on the phone, and we got deep into some stuff. But she was definitely on the dating app looking for men. Real talk. So I think, now how she feels now. Her sexual preference, like what I said, is preference. She prefers to be with women now. Hey man, what you do in your bedroom is
he's full of shit.
Yeah, but all that stuff that she talks about, how men are put on earth to drag women down and all that type of stuff. That's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And she's a I forgot, somebody told me the name of the female, the opposite word of misogynist, or fem.
Misandry.
Yeah, misandry. There you go. That's what she is. If you're going to define it, that's her. So, but like what I'm saying. Oh, let me back to my point. I'm a recruiter. I have a staffing agency. I had an order to 4 for 4 4 physical therapists. I hired 4 physical therapists. 3 of them were men. 1 was a woman. All those and the bonus, and all of them were fresh out of school. They all graduated in May. Okay, and every one of them got the full bonus except for the woman. You know what I'm saying? Now she was a Hispanic woman, but like she got. The sign-on bonus was like 10,000 for them, and she got like 3,000. You know what I'm saying? And that's real, dog.
Why do you think she didn't get the full bonus?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Either she didn't negotiate it and she just took it, or maybe they asked her how much she thinks that she should get, and that's what she said. Possibly. But but the men, all the men got the full $10,000.
I don't think they should be making more. That's why we in this whole discussion about how much money.
I don't think they should be making less.
I think
So
they should be
why?
making less.
You think they should be making less?
Yeah.
That's why they call you. That's why they call you.
Okay.
A misogynist.
Experience is the best teacher. Women
Okay.
fight. Women are competing for position. We don't compete to get their position. They compete to get our position. They want power for what? They only want power to empower themselves. They don't really think about empowering community. They don't even think about empowering themselves. That is the behavior pattern of women.
All right. Why is getting a job, working in the workforce, gaining power? How I mean, I don't understand that.
Because that's how they think. When they're in relationships and they get a certain amount of income, it puts them in a different position in their minds, and it can put them in a different position in their relationship according to them. It has an off balance in community. Listen, Candace Owens was talking about this when she went against the 20 feminists. We have reports that women aren't necessarily happier. They are doing more drugs. They're more depressed than ever. They're taking on more responsibility, and they're making more money. How do we not see a correlation in that? It's easy to see it. I don't think women need to make more money. I think women are happier when they're having kids and when they're married. Now, I've said that before, and again, I was the big bad misogynist. But look, I really want to say it in an even worse way. When they're getting fucked. When women are consistently getting fucked and having kids, they're happier. This is true.
Perhaps. I mean, I'm not going to disagree with that, but you understand what you're proposing is a mathematical impossibility because there's more women than men. So every woman can, unless we start getting into a poly lifestyle as a country.
That happens.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, listen.
We're getting a poly lifestyle. You're not. I mean, women are gonna have to go out there and get it. They got to go out and get that money.
10 years ago, I predicted, and I think I'm gonna add you. I'm gonna add you to our group chat. I'm gonna add you to our group chat so we can this can be verified because I think welcome to the show. Welcome to the panel. I predicted that 10 years ago. I said that polyamorous relationships will be more accepted. Because when you look at the dating space, when you look at how women only want a certain amount of men, there's only a few amount of men that they all want, it's going to become more acceptable. It's more acceptable now. They're talking about being polyamorous. It's just more acceptable to them. So I believe that although it may seem impossible, they're fucking. They have the same baby daddies. They're fucking the same guy. Do you know that women on average have more children than men? Did you know that? That's a statistic for that. Women have more children than men. How in the fuck did that happen?
There's more women than men. There's more women.
But what I'm saying is the numbers allude to they're fucking the same. Generally, they're fucking the same people. They're fucking the same guys. One guy can have and I'm not to say that women can't have several baby daddies, but one guy can have several baby mamas. They're fucking the same type of guy.
Okay. All right.
So
Let me ask you this.
I just don't believe that they should make. I'm just saying from a relational standpoint, having experience in that, I think when we empower women financially, we inflate their minds and their psyche in an unhealthy way that they really don't need. Here's the issue. When we want to place women on the same level as men, because that's what they fight for, they can't handle the same level of responsibility. Because that's when they start saying, we need protection. Wait a minute. Don't you want to be equal? Don't you want to have equal rights to money? Then you should be able to go out and fend for yourself. You should be able to go out and kill and eat for you. Go do the shit that men do. They don't want to do that. They don't. So when they argue and say, make us the same, and we say, okay, we're going to make you the same, then they start crying because they want to be protected and treat me. I want the soft girl. No, you didn't want the soft girl 20 years ago. You wanted to be independent. I'm a woman. That's what you wanted.
All right. Let me ask you this. Here's another hot topic in social media. Do you think more men subscribe to a polyamorous society or 50-50?
I think there's probably going to be a combination of both. It's hard to say that.
Mhm.
I think there are. I'm going to say there are more men. Well, okay. So, are you saying compared to women?
No. This is just for the men
I
because
think.
this is going to drive my next point.
Okay, I want to talk about this 50. You kind of opened up the door. I hate the 50-50 discussion, but let me go ahead and talk about the 50-50 thing because I really hate that we're having this discussion. Only 6% of Black Americans make over six figures. So, and I mean, you're a staffing guy, so you probably know that these numbers make sense. So if we look at median income of most people, so let's say a man makes 50,000 and a woman makes 50,000, and they're going to go buy a house in the market. How in the fuck are they going to do that if they're not 50-50? How are they going to pay bills if they're not doing that? I think that when we're talking about marriage, there is no 50-50. You're consolidating it as one. And if you don't think like that, you are headed towards divorce court, and you're gonna have a lot of issues in your relationship. I think it is very sad that we have this idea that 50, oh no, he's got to pay for everything. She can barely pay for everything. Hey, listen, I know people who are making a lot of money. I'll just say that are taking care of families, and it's still tough. It's still tight. Even if you take an income that is 100, let's say you, Miss Independent, that you make $100,000 by yourself, and you're taking care of some children along with that. You could possibly be in a check-to-check situation, especially if you're trying to be a passport girl and go travel and shit like that. People aren't being realistic with how money really operates. But if two people were to come together and use their money in a smart way, they can have a lot. What did your grandpa and your grandma do? Especially in the time of segregation, especially in the time where they didn't have a lot. I hate the 50-50 discussion. However, most people are average. So most men are saying, hey, I make 60 grand, but you want to buy a house in, let's say, Pearland, which is really not, I can't do that on 60 grand. But if you're making 60 grand, maybe 70 grand, let's say you making six figures. If we come together, we can have a home in Pearland, we can have a car and have a nice lifestyle. You are an idiot. I'm going to say this again. You are an idiot if you don't subscribe to 50-50 in a unit. Now, if that's your girlfriend, you need to be taking care of your own shit. If that's just your girlfriend, you don't need to have any requirements on somebody that you hadn't got married to. So I would say the majority is going to go 50-50. To me, when we talk about polyamorous relationships, that's about lust. Because I ain't gonna lie, I said this on my show before. I've been there, done that. I had a girlfriend and a wife, and I had it at one point where they both knew about each other. And guess what? It was terrible. I didn't like it. And that's just when I was in a certain type of lifestyle. It just looking back, it's terrible. You know, you can juggle some chicks around, but I mean,
that's not true. That's not true. Polyamorous wife. Like, okay, now a polyamorous a life polygamy is you're taking care of like 3 homes, you know, and you just told me most of us are average. And the average man can't have a house in Pearland. Well, how can we? If we're going to go to if we're going to go to a polygamy lifestyle, I mean, how are we going to take care of 3 homes? And you know, so like that's my big thing right there, man. It's like how are we gonna? I mean, and especially with dudes with 50-50 mentalities, which there's a good significant amount of people of dudes with 50-50 mentalities. And when we talk about 50-50, we're talking about money. You know, I'm not talking about putting in 50-50 into the work. You know, taking care of the kids and doing what you're supposed to do to run a healthy household. But like what I'm saying is that 50-50 is money wise.
So
and
how
when it comes to polygamy, that poly lifestyle, you gotta be making bread to do that.
So let me ask you
a question. And we're not doing that. And you know, as black men, we don't make enough to do that, to satisfy all the women that's more than men to make it happen. It's just not gonna get it done. It's not gonna get it done. The math didn't work.
If she wants me to take care of everything, why shouldn't I be making more money than her? Why shouldn't I have more opportunity? Why shouldn't men have more opportunities to make more money than women if they want that?
Right. Like you're right. But here's the thing: most women, the women that want men to take care of them, those are Instagram chicks. Those are bottom of the barrel, the lowest common denominator ones that feel like they don't have to work. They're looking for somebody to take care of them. You know, those are OnlyFans chicks. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that we can't base. You need to find a woman, a teacher. She's been teaching for 15 years, 10, 15 years. She has a 401k, and she might have a little small, might have a home. You know, that's fine. But she knows how to manage money, how to manage a lifestyle. You come in with her. Now you're making more money than her. Now y'all built to come together, build generational wealth. You see what I'm saying? That's how it should be. You know, it shouldn't be a man take care of one, a man taking care of a woman with a, and all that. Like grandma was saying, you got to be a millionaire to do that. You really, you got to be or damn close to being a millionaire to do that. You know, where if you want to live a certain type of lifestyle, you know what I'm saying? And it's real. It's unrealistic. I mean, to to raise kids in this economy, you have to have a two income household. You have to have it unless you're making stupid money. And I'm not mad at nobody if that's what they want it to be. That's fine. But man, I know most people out here that the black people I know in the circles I run in, black women, they're willing to work. They're not here the I don't need a man thing and all that. That's the when you hear women that say I don't need a man, that's because they ran through real talk, man. They ran through. They done been through several relationships back to back. They keep choosing the same type of bad dude, and then they talk about, oh, I'm independent. I don't need a woman. I don't need a man. I don't need a man. I'm gonna do this, or they jump on the cycle, get them a woman. You know what I'm saying? We need to quit focusing on those people. They're the minority. They're the minority of the minority, the lowest common denominator. The ones that's out here, the women that go to that graduate from HBCUs and got a career going and doing their thing. That's who we need to focus on, and that's who we need to build our communities with. Real talk.
And I think that is a great way to wrap up tonight's show. That was your interview. That was your interview, Brett. You made the cut.
I made the cut. I appreciate it, man.
We're gonna have to throw you in the group chat, even though you got that green bubble.
Yeah, hey man. Let me tell you something. I'm not a Democrat, man. I'm an independent.
Okay.
Man, like if you look at me on when I vote in the midterms and is the local shit, I'm back pop. I'm all over the place. I voted for 5 libertarians last year. I mean 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? And and then I even vote. I voted for a couple of Republican judges, just a couple. But I have a disdain. I'm gonna be real with you. I have a disdain. I have a disdain for the Republican Party. I think I tell people this all the time. Voting Democrat for the rest of your life or your whole life is like eating McDonald's every day. Can you sustain life? Yeah, at a low level, and eventually it's gonna kill you. But voting constantly Republican is like eating a bowl of shit, and it's gonna kill you even quicker. You know what I'm saying? So
I disagree with that, but we're gonna wrap this up. We're gonna continue this for another time.
All right, cool, man. I had a great time, man.
I had a great time. Great show, man. Peace, love y'all. Don't forget to like, subscribe, man. Throw 50K in the chat. We're gonna see y'all next time. Peace.
Oh, Chanka.